Good afternoon, everyone. For a minute there, I thought I wouldn't be able to sign off on. My apologies. I honestly don't know what was wrong or what I did to somehow make it work. But here I am. Apologies for the lateness. Okay. Oof. Take a moment here. When technology doesn't work, sometimes you really don't know what's wrong. So it's good that we're here. Let me take a So I think a lot of what we've been doing these last couple months is learning to understand ourselves better, who we are, and we're reclaiming ourselves. Reclaiming means to take back, to reclaim. We are taking back our energy, our focus, our peace, reclaiming our birthright, releasing and not allowing things to influence or disturb us. Restoring our peace and our grounding and our space, mental, physical, energetic, spiritual. Reclaiming our time. Reclaiming our bodies. Taking back our bodies from our misunderstandings of what it is and is not. Reclaiming our bodies from the energies and traumas and past and history that we've accumulated that really should not be part of our bodies, and therefore we carry with us. And so we're learning how to offload, how to take out of ourselves, how to center, how to reclaim peace, how to find that breath in the middle of the chaos, how to reclaim moments of peace and stability and spaciousness in our busy lives. And so we're learning to bring back our awareness into our bodies, learning to offload the pressure, the density, the heaviness, make ourselves lighter. In the past, I've discussed a cup that's full. We learn to empty our cup, our reservoir, so there's room for something new to fill it. Something that is more in keeping of what and who we truly practice on working with sacred song, both song as medicine, song to help our energies to heal sacred words, sounds, blessed names, to reduce the fire, reduce the movement, permit us to be in a space which brings calm, that cools drink of water, that allows us to settle, to calm our waves, which is healthier for our body, our spirits. We make better decisions. So there's a lot of practical manifestations to everything I speak about. Practical in the sense of a more material world. So when one listens to sacred music while doing exercises or whatever, it becomes a barrier to the outside world in a way. If you do it at a gym or whatever, that influence doesn't penetrate. You're able to be surrounded by a sacred space in midst of noise, chaos, intrusion of other music, an ability to create a bubble. So one does one's practice, but it becomes a little more than that, because we've sort of doubled down in a clear space that feeds our true selves. And so we're creating habits through mantras, how to think, how to act, how to perceive, what's our nature, our body, our minds, our sipharots, our chakras. Practices, many practices on working to live from that central throne within us, in that temple within, where we can become masters of our lives, intelligence of our thoughts, not influenced by others or our desires of what we would like things to be, but based on reality, based on freshness, based on wisdom. And from that place, like a horse, a rider on a horse, we gain freedom. Things are lighter. And so it's a choice to make little changes here and there where we can, where we're able, we have time, in ways we're called to. And a little change and a little change plus a little change soon equals a rather large shift, whether you're aware of it or not. And with time, you're in a whole different space. And things that could have been stuck are now more open. Things that weren't available are now available. Practice-wise, in the real world-wise. Things you're like, oh, that practice is out there, I'm never able to do it. Oh, I tried it. Whoa, what a flop. Suddenly you try it and you're like, oh my God, it's no problem. What was going on back then? Because you've progressed. You've moved forward. You've understand things. You've practiced. You've learned to ride your bike. And the bike moves from your space at home or a place of community. You're able to do it at work or with your difficult parents or when people are grieving or when you're grieving. becomes part of you. It becomes a skill. You have toolbox of all sorts of practices, and you know different ones. You've become skilled. You've become capable. You're less open to the winds that blow around you because you found your inner center. And in it, you sit with awareness. You sit like a king or queen. You're in control of yourself and your energies. You're not blown in every direction. There's a sense in what you do. You're aware of consequences. You're aware of everything, because inside your winds, the energies within you have cooled and settled. And from it arises a real grounded sense of being. And so as we do different practices, as one week I do this name, and the next week I offer this name, and the next week there's something else, and then there's something new. If you're really in deep with your practice and you feel called to continue, then do it. But if you feel called to put your toes in a new name and a new practice, it allows you to get a little bit of an exposure. You're like, oh, this is a little different. What's different here? Oh, I kind of felt, oh, I like this. Oh, I didn't like this. Why didn't I not like it? You're able to get a taste, an experience. And if you feel called, you continue doing that for a couple weeks at home. Or you do your main practice at home and you kind of do what I'm doing. And then we are able to kind of explore a little bit. Especially people who have been with me for a while, you might have a home base. It's good. And you might like to do your home base at home on your regular practice, but maybe on a Sunday or Wednesday, you're like, you know what, I'm going to go there with this name. They're all very much available. They're all a little different. And one name might be like this one day, and the next day it's completely different. One week it feels like way too much, and the next week it's really calming. You learn to trust your inner voice, your inner knowing, inner calling, and you just start in the name. And why was that one chosen? But you begin to see that actually it was exactly the right one. And you can't really be sure why sometimes. And then you start getting confidence in how somehow you're being guided. So you've realized you've moved from the flow of the world, the flow of your past, the flow of what you would like your future to be, or the wish of what, or projection on what you think is in front of you, your life currently, or what you would like it to be, to a sort of new river, a new energy. And you realize there's another flow here, a subtle flow. And somehow it knows. And it kind of guides you to the practice, guides you in a way of being, guides you on how to be in a situation and maneuver yourself. And with time, you begin to trust it through experience. You tap into an innate wisdom that's within us. You learn to protect your space, protect your mind, protect from the winds from outside. Learn to calm the disturbed winds within. And then the Shekhinah can blossom within you. The flow of God, there's room for it to flow and flower within you. And your way of being changes. The way you perceive life changes. The way you live life changes. What you wish to get out of life could change. There's a saying, where do you take your refuge? Where is your home base? How do you manage your life is where you take refuge. What you do with your life has certain results. So we learn to change the mix. We learn to bring in a certain, well, not to be judgmental, there's no judgmental here, but it's a term, a certain sanity. Something that's on point. And we learn to relate to that and direct ourselves towards that. If we know where due north is, we learn to turn and move towards it. So as we do our practices, that's what we're doing. When we're somewhere and we choose to put on sacred music, or before we go to sleep, or like I've done many times, as you go through to sleep, you have on a song. And at 3 in the morning, when you wake up, it's still going. Misha Berha or El Narifan Allah is still repeating. Well, that's might be really good for your brain. The melodies, the words, it reorients you from set patterns to different other patterns. This is the path of change. We study to understand, but at some point, you jump in the water to make the changes. And you can go slowly. The inner path, the inner yogas, we work with our energies. We become masters of our energies. If we do, the energies from outside can't affect us. Because we've taken sort of control. We're no longer tossed from our past, tossed in our present, influenced from anger, revulsion, desire, wishful thinking, fear. And we learn to root in presence, which is inherent, which is embodied wisdom. And not wisdom of the mind, but wisdom of knowing with a capital K. And we empower ourselves. But the path is not based on ego. It's in the stillness beyond ego. It's in the stillness of being. This is why it's important. Take the time to be in nature or someplace out there and learn to be present. Stop the flow. What's here, what's there, what you have to do. You're just there. And you learn how to stop the flow. The meditation, sitting meditation, which I've taught in the past, sitting in awareness. I give a very, very, very powerful teaching of that in, I think, August. Quite complete. I think one of my teachers would have been very proud of that one. And it's there. It's being in presence. If we bring the presence with our connection to divinity, then we're approximating, getting closer to what our birthright is, how things should be with us. And if a lot of people do it, then things out there will begin to change. Policies out there would be different. What's important in our society would change. How we treat our environment, each other, animals, how we view pollution, how we view crime, how we view poverty, how we view war. That's in flux. It always changes. But there is a way and a momentum that society has, which is kind of what society has in its groupness, in its totality. That's that momentum. But if the momentum of the individuals that make it up change, their energy shifts. Things that were permissible are not, and things that were not permissible become permissible for the good, or if people go in the opposite direction, for the worse. We move backwards. And then this work we do becomes that much more difficult because our starting place is from a more stuck, rigid, heavy place. But here, now, we have an opportunity to make decisions. To try to touch into something that is very real, that's very much part of ourselves, but is somewhat transcendent. Not fully here, but not fully over there, but yet is completely here and completely over there. That space begins to become thinner because we've brought in something that's been kind of blocked out through ignorance, the energies around us, our lack of knowledge as to this being possible, our lack of knowledge on how to access it or how to do it. But ultimately, what it comes to for us is the practice. There's an image which I will put up on my Twitter, which I keep meaning to use more, but there's just a lot going on. If I may be permit to find it, here we are. This is my motto. It's been sort of there, but I haven't shown this. This is so practice, practice, practice is putting in the time to do the practice. And there are a lot of different practices. So you do the ones that you feel called to do. Over what now? Well, I haven't put them all up. I'm a little behind, but over 117 teachings. And whatever you choose to use to walk, it's a forward momentum. Always a little harder at the beginning, like with everything. But as you move forward and get used to it, you end up looking forward to it. There was a period in my time, in my life. What time did I used to get up? Lord. 4:30 in the morning. For I'm not saying people should do this, mind you. 2, no, it was over 2. 2.5 hours a day, because I felt I was cutting it short if it was only 2. I looked forward to it. It was the highlight of my day. And when I went to work, I felt like I had achieved everything I wanted to achieve for the day, and everything on top was just an extra. How did I get there? It took a while. But you get into your groove, and the feeling you get when you do your practice gives you your entire life. And the benefits you see in your life, the things that pop up, like how did that happen? Just, oh my gosh, I was thinking of that person, he just popped up. Oh, I had that problem, and look, I just thought of the solution. How did I think of that solution? Life becomes easier. There's a synchronicity that begins to occur. And a situation that was too much, you just walk, it's just simple walk in the park. No problem. And you realize what's changed. It's that practice. You feel lighter. Death no longer scares you. You begin to see what life is in a different way. And it's not because somebody told you that was what it was over YouTube or a book, or because they're on some podium somewhere. It's because you've come to that understanding. And therefore, you're grounded in it. You begin to know. And it's grounded, and it becomes unbreakable because you've tasted it, you've experienced it, and you have that aha moment. Yes? So we're going to do a practice together. By the way, the Sephiroth, that symbol in the middle, all the little squares, little circles, that's the Sephiroths. They're all lit up, and the lines connecting them is because it's perfectly aligned. Star of David, the masculine, the feminine, the the ba, the connection as above, so below, unity, non-duality, so many things there. It's a very sacred symbol with a lot of truth to it. And then the rest are characters in the Hebrew alphabet. Connection to things that are a little bit beyond us, that bless us. The lights of the path, the holy books, and we walk it in reverence and trust and forward, barefoot on holy ground. The walk of devotion, love, faith, wholeness, appreciation, and the desire to attain inner sanctity and inner purity and inner light. And with that, we go forth into the world. We bring that into the world, not our anger, not our ignorance, not our racism, not our judgment. In the bad sense, you could judge things. You have to make decisions in your life on. It's not everything goes, but it's reasoned. It's correct. It's proper, and it's not based in ego. We walk lighter. So let's take a moment and we'll do some mantra practice together. And, I've noticed I'm hopping from one to the next. I'm going with it. And I invite you to go with it yourself, if it's okay for you to say the names that I say. And get a taste of different ones. Stretch a little. But if you're going strong with your own, keep that one for your personal practice that you do yourself. And deepen in that. Don't become a champion of all of them, especially at the beginning, because then you're a champion of none of them. But you grow and you deepen, and at some point, well, kind of like me, there doesn't really matter which one. Because you've learned to tap in, and you realize they all tap into the same thing. But they affect us in a little different way, and it changes. Yes? So when we take 2 minutes, and we'll start. There's a flexibility in our practice. I felt completely inclined to go with one. And I said, what image am I going to show? So I looked at the Aleph. I said, I'm going to put up the Aleph and we're going to practice with the Aleph up. And by looking at the Aleph, the mantra I felt called to do changed. And you go with it. If the current shifts, sometimes there's wisdom in shifting with it. But if you're always shifting, then there's wisdom on not shifting. So our practice isn't heavy-handed like a fist. And it's not everything goes. But there's a warmth. There's a friendly, inquisitive engagement. There's a commitment, but it's not like, I have to. There's a middle place in all this. We're trying to connect in a way to something more wholesome that can feed and sustain and guide us. And it's very much within ourselves. And it's also very much outside in ourselves. Sometimes found in our world, but often it's beyond ourselves. Beyond this world, the purity isn't as around. But as we're focusing on the inner work, the inner yogas, the purity is found within. And it's not us, in the sense, it's not me, it's not you in the sense of ego. It's beyond us. As we perceive or name ourselves. But it's also very much a part of us. And we touch in, and it comes through. And we become transformed for the better. Path of transformation. And we apply ourselves. We do it. We practice. The Aleph is a symbol of God. Has no sound. The essence of what he is, beyond time and space and sound, no sound, everything. It's the beyond words. He's not the symbol, but it's what he represents, the source. That's not a source, it's beyond being a source, it's beyond us being able to conceive. So we create the symbol, the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, the Ah, it's an Ah, but it has no sound. It's not pronounced. It's in the space of the letter A, but it's not pronounced. It is silent. And so by communicating, by resonating with this image, there is actually a great blessing because it's a very holy symbol. It's reserved for divinity. And so as we look at it, I felt called for us to do Yahweh Vahe, Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha. And as we look and remember on Sunday, Rapha means so many things. And if you missed that teaching, I invite you to listen to it. It's not just healing. It's everything. And I wanted to say the songs El Na Wifanala. Those words are used. I had a whole teaching on it, so I did not mention it on Sunday, but I would like to mention it now because there are people who didn't receive the earlier teaching. It's a phrase that Moses said when his wife had a very serious disease, which I believe it sounds like it was probably leprosy. So the words, and she was cured, he called as El Na Wifanala, God, please heal her. It's a very sacred mantra of healing that's in the Torah. That's what that song is referring to. But as we learned on Sunday, the word Wafa means whole, completeness, returning into alignment. You could heal relationship, the water, the land, the community. It is not just about illness. It's a 360 thing. So when we say Yahweh Rapha, we're asking the divinity and power of God to shine forth that complete, to make that perfection, that repair, to bring us back, in a way, to Eden, to a higher vibration, to a higher place. Or even while we're still here. A lot of life is how we engage and move with it. Be that vibration in our lives. For ourselves and how we do our lives, but it also affects our families and our communities. We heal ourselves, tikkun ourselves, and we tikkun the world. Inner yogas focus on ourselves, because it's our inner yogas. We can only walk our own path. Can't walk somebody else's path. But then those changes affect everything around us. So let's do it for a little bit, shall we? I'm not going to say the Shema, and I haven't, because I want to keep the energies only to the mantra. So people, I'm not mixing energies. So people really get the sense of that mantra energy as it's the only energy being released in that time. Yes? We explore like the many flavors of ice cream. Yes? Okay. Actually, why doesn't everybody take their hands and put it over your heads, straight up, and stretch your back a little bit? Don't hurt yourselves, but if you can get a small little pop, elongate that central column, inviting that energy to come up a little bit, and get that upward movement a little. And as your arms are up, direct your face upwards a little bit. And if you want to take it to the next level, and you're putting your arms up and the head up, facing up, breathe in. Slowly at first. And see if you could feel that energy as you inhale, especially if you learn how to start inhaling from the lower part of the lungs and filling it up towards the top. It's a skill. See if you feel the energy start moving up a little bit. Energy is meant to move up. The energy from the lower chakras is meant to move up your body and go through the top of your head and not pool down below. And so we're inviting our energies to move up. And so when we do the mantra, which is high energy, we've already moved our energy upwards so it can catch. We catch the flow of the mantra a little bit. We start relating to it. It starts affecting us. And we release into the words and let the words carry us. It's like hopping into a stream and the current takes us. Let the mantra take us. That's the practice, really simple. No desire of what you would like to have experienced, no expectation of what's going to happen. The less you have expectations, the greater the possibility of something arising. What you would like to experience or what your expectation might have been, actually. You have to let go. And with time, you get comfort in it. So you try a little bit. What is this? Is this safe? How do I feel? And after a while, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, this is good. I'm going to launch into this. The wisdom, the energy of sanity, the energy of divinity, the energy of higher vibration. You're using the name of God. And you're learning to bathe and trust in it, soak in it, allowing it to carry you and to carry away all that doesn't serve you and your higher good. Yes? Okay. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. Yahweh Wafa, 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 Yahweh Wafa. So if you put your awareness in your body, do you feel energy moving at all? So put your awareness, what you think, try to feel maybe where the belly button is, but towards or higher, towards the back where your spine is as you say the words, and see, do you see anything with your inner eye, visual, or do you feel something move through your body as you say the words? Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. So, to give an example of something that might be possible for you, to give what I've experienced as an example, so people have an awareness as to one experience one might be able to have. I saw energy spinning from the lowest chakra in a counter circle direction, and moving upwards past the top of my head And as that left the top of my head, I felt slightly lightheaded. But then I was in the current and felt the current of the mantra as it spun go through my whole body. And then I had the wish that I wished I could be doing this for hours, but now I don't want to stop. Why? It's not the experience of what I'm seeing. It's because I'm in the mantra and I feel whole. I feel protected and I feel time has stopped and I'm home and it feels warm. And I'm slightly in a different state where there's balance. And there's no thinking about the future or the past. I'm simply in the mantra's energy. And the healing in that is it resets you. You become familiar with that. And then that becomes more and more your resting energy. You begin to embody the names of God. They flow through your nervous system as you go through your life. They become your friends and your home. Does that make sense? And so you let go, and with time, as you work with your body and you do yoga, you work on flexibility and stretching and these practices, the energy in you unlocks. It will, I promise. And the energy that used to be stuck below starts moving. And as the upper areas begin to clear, and you start, upper chakras like the third eye, you begin to start seeing things within you or even others. So you realize the eyes have limits, but there's more to your senses because it's like a car that's never been fully used. You use it, and then you get to parts that you didn't even know were there, which were dormant. So it's very much a path of exploration. Yes? So let's do our practice. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. Exhale, relax. Inhale, exhale, relax. Relax. Open. Find that center point where you're seated. Spine in that center point. Exhale. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa. You can have your eyes closed. You don't have to have your eyes open here. Actually, it's easier to feel energy when your eyes are closed. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh. exhale. Don't be tense. Just relax. Just do the words. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh. So look at the Aleph and then say the mantra as you're looking at it. It's a soft gaze. If it's even a little blurry, that's good. It's just a touching in, not looking at details, just a soft, open gaze. Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh Wafa, Yahweh. So I would like to invite you to continue your practice yourself. Make it your own. Offer incense, go deeper, do what you feel called to do. We are opening ourselves to connect with the Shekhinah, with purity, with alignment, with health, balance, and wisdom, with eternity. And we'll do it together. So you continue with your practice. And I invite you to continue for about another 15 minutes. And I will log off, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye-bye.